Welcome, everyone. You're welcome. Can you just a brief minute? Can you just say your name and where you're joining from? In the chat, if you can just say your name and where you're joining us from. Hi, Maximus from Bournemouth. Nice to have you here. Hi, everyone. Hi, John. So good to have you here, John. From Nigeria, all the way from Nigeria. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're welcome, everyone. Hi, Timmy. Where are you joining us from today? So we're welcome again. So without wasting any more time, bear with me a second. I'm just trying to get a hold of the team. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Give me a minute. Okay. Hi, I can see everyone. So good to have you here. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. And without wasting any more time, let's go straight into it. Okay. Can you all see my screen, please? Yes? Okay. So you're welcome to our webinar this season, this moment, September webinar. It's so good to have you all here. So who are we briefly? This is One Goal Analytics Limited. And just so you know, I am Queen Ekweme, a digital growth strategist with over 5 years of experience in sales, marketing, education, and business development, now actively transitioning into business development management and offering strategic consulting for startups and small businesses. And I'll be your anchor for today. So fasten your seatbelt and get ready for a ride. So a brief introduction of who we are. We are committed in fostering your career goals into a reality. Our passion is to assist you unlock that disruptive thinking and acquire excellent skills needed for high paying job and succeed in your career. So our mission is very simple. Our mission is to be impactful through high quality, well innovative content with hands-on practice and training that are internationally relevant in a dynamic tech market. And that aligns so much with our theme for today, which is for this particular webinar, which is tech skills that open doors, pathways to global career opportunities and visa sponsorship. And we have our speakers here all lined up and very excited, happy, and pumped, super excited. Can't wait to start to share their goals, their best practices, their ideas, their topics, all they know, their expertise, basically. We've got James Cartwright, we've got Afreni, we've got Shay, me, Queen, and Ayilara. Unfortunately, Ayilara has come up with there's been a bit of a delay with him, and things we're trying to work on with him, and he may be joining us shortly. So first on our list today is Afreni. So Afreni is the head of training here in One Goal Analytics. He is the cybersecurity lead here. He's a lead instructor and he's also the head of training. He's got a master's degree in cybersecurity management. He has worked successfully in the governance, risk, and compliance. He is passionate about innovating and tailoring security for enhanced business value. His skills areas are cybersecurity, information security, and cloud security, and GRC. He's really, really brilliant, really, really brilliant. You'll be hearing from Afreni shortly. Shay as well is a business data analytics here in the UK, and the data analytics instructor at One Goal Analytics. You'd also be hearing from fantastic speakers today, from fantastic participants who will be sharing some of their experiences with our instructors, with the whole team, basically their whole experience with One Goal Analytics. So it's just get ready for a ride. It promises to be very, very engaging, very exciting, and very, very fruitful. So Shay has got a bachelor's degree in economics and 2 master's degree in business and data science. His field of experience are in tech and open commerce, FMCG, and manufacturing. So he is a certified data analyst in SQL, Azure AI, and Azure Data, and many more. And James, who is our keynote speaker for today, James is a senior partner in an executive recruitment firm working in private equity, venture capital, and family offices across UK, EU, and which is the European Union and the Middle East. So James is also a leader in life sciences with GlaxoSmithKline, a health tech charity, Our Future Health, and set up his own strategy consultancy to the life sciences and professional services sector. James has held roles of increasing responsibility and was the chief operating officer at Our Future Health, which is here based in the UK, genomics research group focused on transforming the diagnosis and treatment of both chronic physical and mental conditions. James is a fellow of the Royal Society of Chemistry, has published widely in peer-reviewed journals, and is a named inventor on 4 patents. So good to have you here, James. So good to have you. Welcome again, everyone. You're all welcome. It's fantastic to have you all join us here. You're so welcome. I can see some new people joined us. So if you're just joining us, tell us your name and where you're joining us from. We'd like to meet you. We'd like to really meet you. Timmy is joining from the United Kingdom. Hi, Fola Shade. Hi, okay. So good to have you all here. John, nice to have you here. Stanley, Timmy again. So good to have you. Christian just joined in. Welcome. So Shay, how are you ready, pumped and excited for us today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Queen. Awesome. It's so exciting, having to do this once in a while, like every now and then. It's really, really exciting because, getting to really tap from your wealth of experience and knowledge, it's really, really exciting. I believe that more people are going to be joining us shortly, and they really can't wait to hear you. They can't wait to dive into the world of data science and analytics and business analytics, same as cybersecurity. I believe Afreni is pumped and excited as well. Hi, Afreni.
Hey, Queen.
Yeah. I believe you're excited.
Yeah.
You can't wait to just unleash and just, pour it all out.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. I'm
so
really
good.
poised. Yeah.
Yeah, so good to have you here. Hi, James.
Hi there, Queen.
Hi, so excited. We're so happy to have you. We're so happy to have you. We can't wait to hear you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Yeah. So over to you, Shay.
Yes, Queen. Yes. So let's get started. It's an interesting one here.
Awesome.
I'm gonna be sharing my screen, so we'll get started from there. So let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, perfect. So let me turn this to yes. Okay, guys, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar. Thank you for taking our time to join this webinar. And then a very warm welcome to everyone. My name is Shay, as Queen has introduced. Currently I work as a senior business data analyst with a tech company called Red Cloud Analytics. So I call Red Cloud Technologies, and I also partner with Wango Analytics, to train students. Our topic for this webinar is a very interesting one, which of course many students that we are willing to learn about, right? People are looking for opportunities and visa sponsorship, and then they're looking for ways in which they can tap into this opportunity. And then Wango Analytics has planned this webinar, to take us through the tech skills that we can explore to gain this to be part of these opportunities. So I'll be taking us through the field of data, in particular data analytics, and how we can explore and take opportunities in the field of data analytics, to better our life, to go for much better opportunities. And of course, like most of us will want to go, relocate or move to another country, or maybe you want to work, you want a flexible working condition, you want to work from home, you want to work remotely. We'll be exploring how the field of data analytics can help us do that. So let's get started. It's an interesting world we live in, from the world that's evolved over time, from the era of agriculture, where from the era of agriculture where land was a major source of income, up to the industrial area where we started manufacturing, and then when machines and manufacturing became the focal point for production, up to the digital era where we have technology, not technology, where we have the internet. That's when the internet came in the 20th century, when the internet and the telephone came in. And now we are in a tech-driven era where technology is the major focus for everyone. And the good thing is that what is even powering and driving this technology in this era is data. Data is the new oil, data is the new currency. I'm sure you must have heard about that so many times. The tech area we are here is actually driven by data. And people who can analyze that data, people who can extract that data, people who can manage that data have immense opportunities, right? Okay, so let's look at some of the opportunities created by technology as a whole. One, the immense job opportunities. So these are job opportunities that are created newly. Before last 5-10 years, there was nothing like machine learning, AI. It wasn't there. But now, due to the advent of tech and data, we have new roles coming up. So technology has given us more job opportunities. Also, with tech skills, they have a higher pay, right? People who have tech skills tend to earn higher on average more than people who do not have tech skills. On average, you can earn as much as 50,000 on an entry-level tech skilled person when you have a tech skill. Right. Another opportunity created by technology is the area of relocation and flexibility, which is of course the major focal point of this webinar. If you have tech skills, companies are willing to, of course, to get you to come to their country and work, in as much as you have that tech skills. Another is the flexibility. Of course, the remote work came. Most people, I'm sure you have one or two people who are working remotely. You know what I mean remotely, 100% remotely. I, for one, I'm a senior business analyst and I work 100% remotely, right? Another opportunity created by technology is a growth. There's growth and security in tech, right? From data analyst, you can move to a senior data analyst. You can move to a data analyst lead. You can move to be a chief data officer. So there are many opportunities created by technology. And due to these opportunities, right, countries like the UK, the US, Canada, Germany, and many European countries, right, have sponsorship for these tech roles. I'll be focusing on UK because UK is where Wango Analytics is residing, right? That is where our head office is. We're headed in our head office in the UK. And if you look at the UK, you can see that some roles like data analyst, data scientists, software engineers, cybersecurity, cloud and DevOps engineers, AI and machine learning, right? These roles all have sponsorship, what's it called? Sponsorship criteria, right? The government is willing, have made pathway for people who have these skills to come over to their country. I don't want to say this with my mouth. Let's just look at the UK list of sponsored skills. I'm going to focus on the field of data analytics. So this is me going to the UK sponsorship list, right? I know this list because of course I'm a beneficiary. So let's look at the field of data. So the first one is 2431. So you can see as a management consultant and as a business analyst, you're eligible for sponsorship. So as a data analyst, you can work as a business analyst, right? So I might be asking, what's the difference between a data analyst and a business analyst? Basically, they're the same thing. The only difference is that as a business analyst, you'll be recommending instead of just extracting insights. Another area is if you look downward to 3544, you can see data analyst. So if you want to be a data analyst, you are eligible for sponsorship under the UK list of sponsored skills, right? So let me just go back to. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see my screen?
No, please. I believe you were sharing just your slide.
Okay, so nobody could see my screen and then nobody actually. Yeah. Okay. So okay, let me just go back to this. So I'm gonna stop sharing. So I will share and then we say this, right? Okay. Okay, so this is okay. Let's say again. Is my can you see my screen now?
Yes, please.
Okay, good. Perfect. So what I did was to we were here and then I said that I don't want to speak from my mouth. Let's go into the UK list of sponsored skills and see if data analysis is actually a sponsored skill, right? And then I click here and then of course we go to this is UK Gov, this is gov.uk, and then if gov.uk, in the 2431, yep. Okay, so this is 2431. Oh, okay, so yeah, this is 2431. If you can see where my cursor is over and over, right? I said that you could work as a business analyst, as a data analyst. And the difference between a business analyst and a data analyst is that as a business analyst, you don't just extract data, you recommend insights, right? You give the company recommendation, you give your stakeholders recommendation. And then you can see 2431 is eligible for sponsorship. If you go down again onto 3544, you can see it's listed that data analyst is eligible for sponsorship. Right? Okay. So that's clear. So let's move on. So let's look at the field of data analytics in UK. Let's look at the field of data analytics in UK. So data analytics is expected to grow by 25% from the year 2025 to the year 2030. At the moment, there are over 20,000 roles in the field of data, right? And the median salary is about 44,000. So when you're entering as an entry level, the median salary is about 44,000. and that the market is projected to be about 16.9 billion by 2030. Currently, we are at this is 2025. Yeah, this should be less than 10, right? So we have a lot more to go in the next 5 years, right? That's why the field of data is one you would love to go into. So let's look at let's look at other countries, right? The United States is also offering opportunities for people who have data skills. Canada is doing the same. Germany is doing the same. Australia is doing the same. But it's very important to know that these are not just limited to these countries. Many European countries are also doing that. Many countries in the Middle East are also doing that. Dubai is doing that. So if you have the skills, there's immense opportunity waiting for you. Yeah. So let's look at how can you move, how can you get that sponsorship, how can you move, how can you get that relocation opportunity, right? I mentioned earlier that the UK government have a list of sponsorship eligible skills. And one way you can do that is the Global Talent Visa, right? The Global Talent Visa is a visa that automatically stamps you as a top person, right? So when you have tech skills, right, like data analytics, cybersecurity, and all those other tech skills, right, you can, excuse me, you can apply for a Global Talent Visa. Also, companies have the right to, of course, sponsor you, and they can sponsor you using what? The Skilled Worker Visa. So you can either come into the UK as a Global Talent Visa through the Global Talent route, or the company can sponsor you directly, right? If you look at Canada, there's the express entry. In the US has H1B1, and also the Australia have their own, right? So now, having said that, how do you become a professional data analytic person that will be eligible for what? For those opportunities that tech is actually giving us at this time. So you have some skills that you need to know as a data analytics. One of those skills is SQL. SQL is a no-brainer. You must know SQL as a data analyst, right? Because of course we store data in them databases. So you must know SQL so you can of course extract data and of course analyze data. Another one is Excel. It's funny enough that basic Excel is actually used for data analytics. There's no company you go to that doesn't use Excel for analytics. We call Excel the mother of data. So the mother of data analytics. The model of data analysis. Why? Because every company uses Excel. Another thing, you need to have data visualization skills like Power BI or Tableau. You might also need to know Python or R, but that is not compulsory. Not every company actually deals with Python. But of course, as a data analyst, you must have critical thinking skills and business and problem solving skills. You must have that commercial and business acumen, right? With all these skills, you can of course build yourself to be that professional person that can take opportunities of the tech, that can take opportunities that tech is giving us at this time, right? And then in One Go Analytics, that is what we are doing. We teach you these skills, and then we don't just teach you theory, practical. Everything is hands-on. There's no theory at all in One Go Analytics, right? Because you are learning from people who are in the industry, right? So that'll be the end of my webinar. And then, of course, I want to pass it down to the field of cybersecurity.
Okay, thank you very much, Shay. Let me quickly share my screen, just a second. Sorry, can you see my screen, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you, Shay, for passing on the baton. As a matter of fact, I could easily say everything you said also applies to cybersecurity and just end my presentation because it perfectly fit in there. But yes, I'll try and give more insight into cybersecurity as well. So Yeah, my name is Afran. I think the introduction has already been done. So I'll move on with it. So I know some people may ask the question, is cybersecurity a good career? The answer is a simple yes. It's a very, very good career. It's a very, very lucrative career as well. The reasons why you should join cybersecurity is quite enormous. I mean, first of all, it has a growing demand, you know, diverse career paths. There are so many areas that you can actually move into when you want to go into cybersecurity. There's the GRC, there's the pen testing, there is the incident response. There are a whole lot of them. So you have an array of areas that you can actually go into when you want to go into cybersecurity. The salaries are competitive. There is no doubt. There is no doubt. The salaries are really, really competitive. I wouldn't even say much about that. There is job security, and there is the ability to continuously update, learn, and add value to yourself. So that's just a summary of cybersecurity and it being a good career. Yes, I have been in cybersecurity and I can definitely attest to the fact that cybersecurity is a very, very good career for you to get into. Now, according to the Cybercrime magazine, they projected there will be 3.5 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs globally in 2024. And I can tell you that this figure has only increased and not even decreased. And so, yes, there are so many jobs out there in cybersecurity that are still not filled. And companies and countries are looking for professionals with the relevant skills, to come into their country and help them secure their cyberspace. Now, looking at the cybersecurity market, we we can see this is actually in US dollars and is in billions. We are in 2025 now, and the whole market or the budget is probably worth 272 billion. That is the projection for 2025. For 2030, which is like 5 years from now, they are looking at 500 billion, which means that for all the regions, that is Latin America, Asia, Europe, Northern America, Africa, all those areas, there is going to be, or we're going to see a growth in cybersecurity and everything. Basically, everybody's going to increase exponentially. That's it. So why do we have so many roles in cybersecurity, yet why do we have so many vacancies in cybersecurity? The reason is simple. There are too few professionals, but there are too many threats. Too many threats. Recently, this company, CrowdStrike. I don't know if anybody has heard of CrowdStrike, but CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity firm. They are supposed to help other companies protect themselves from cybersecurity, and they have been hacked. Okay, so in cybersecurity, it becomes a bit tricky. Even the protector is not safe. The one protecting you or trying to protect you is even not safe. Okay, so the idea is at every point in time, companies and countries are looking for professionals with relevant skills and valuable skills so that they can take into their businesses to help them protect against themselves. Now, when it comes to sponsorship, cybersecurity is definitely on the sponsorship list. You can have quite a number of them, and from what Shay was showing, if you check the 2135, you can see a lot of roles in cybersecurity that are definitely sponsored. Okay, but here's the catch, and this is what I always tell people. Having the job, having the skills, it's just the first step. Now, what you need to do if you're actually looking for a sponsorship role is to position yourself. Positioning is everything, I keep saying. Why is positioning everything? Because cybersecurity is very organic. Previously, we used to focus on networking because everything was on premises. Now everything is on the cloud, and things change so rapidly. You need to adapt with this. Okay, the future is hybrid. Having one type of skill may not be enough, not because it's not relevant, but because there are other people out there who have multiple or hybrid kind of skills that may make you not stand a chance. So this is why I always say we are in the era of AI skills. Combine cybersecurity with AI. The ability to use AI skills to complete your work, to improve your work, to do whatever you need to do in cybersecurity is very, very important. And not only AI skills. Trust me, if you've got even data analytics skills, just like Shay was saying, and for example, if you need to say present something to your top management and you're able to show this in a visual form to your top management, trust me, you will stand a better chance compared to others who do not have that kind of skill. So for me, the future is hybrid, and I keep saying, whatever skill you've got, if you've got network security, make sure you understand AI security, AI as well. If you have threat detection, make sure you understand AI and other relevant skills that may help you in gaining sponsorship. Now, cybersecurity has a lot of areas, okay? And there are some areas that complement each other. Businesses that are looking to sponsor you will always look out for one, relevance and value. How relevant are you to them if they bring you on board? Because bringing you on board may come at a cost. So how valuable are you to them and how relevant are you to them? For example, if you want to go into cloud security, it's a very good idea. But you know what? Ensure that at least you have an identity and access management skill or knowledge attached to it. Having these two in-demand combination of skills will definitely set you apart. And trust me, any company who is able to interview you would definitely, if they sponsor, would definitely want to sponsor you because the skills that you carry are relevant and will definitely be of benefit to them. Likewise, we're looking at the GRC. Okay, if you're into GRC, make sure you understand vulnerability management or privacy. Okay, privacy dealing with the GDPRs and the UK DPA, all those stuff. Penetration testing, make sure you understand a bit of, or you have knowledge. Okay, you don't need to be an expert at both of them. At least be an expert at one and have knowledge of the other. Okay, pen testing, make sure you understand threat intelligence, security operations, or the SOC team. Make sure you understand incident response, application security. Make sure you understand DevSecOps, network security. Make sure you understand zero trust architecture, which is also a new thing coming up and has been adopted by most companies. Third party or vendor risk. Make sure you understand supply chain, which has been one of the most threat vectors that hackers actually get into a lot of businesses nowadays. Okay. One other thing, sorry, just a second. I understand. Okay, Queen, I'm sure you look at that for me. Yeah. One other thing you need to take a look at in cybersecurity is to try and get certifications. They are not requirements, but they will definitely help you put your best image forward, okay, to the recruiter or the hiring manager. Okay. Once you've got the practical skills, once you've got your portfolio ready, try and add some certifications. The CompTIA Security Plus is always a baseline that companies look out for, and it affirms your experience and the practice that you actually have in cybersecurity for them to keep looking at you. Now, someone may be wondering, okay, so there are requirements for actually getting certain types of visa. And this one, I'm just looking at the skilled worker visa. And these are the requirements. We have the current changes by the UK government sets it to 41,700. So let's just compare it to some of the average salaries in cybersecurity, okay? And I can tell you from all the sources I have here, and these are the sources: the IT Job Wars, Security Expert, Glassdoor, all these, the average salary for most cybersecurity jobs are above the salary threshold for visa sponsorship, which means most cybersecurity jobs will qualify for sponsorship. You have the SOC, which has an average of 43, GRC about 50, cloud 64, and it goes on and on and on, okay, up to identity and access engineer going up to 85,000 as average salary. So what that means is there is a high probability that the salary you will be earning in cybersecurity will definitely qualify for sponsorship. Okay, now let's look at some countries that are known for cybersecurity jobs. It doesn't always have to be the UK. It doesn't necessarily have to be the UK. Okay, there are other countries out there really, really interested in cybersecurity. The United States being one of them, Singapore, Germany, Luxembourg, Belgium, Canada, okay, and all the type of visas that Shay already mentioned also applies to cybersecurity. Okay, global talent, HB1, entry, express entry, all those ones also apply. Okay, so if you want to widen your scope, maybe you shouldn't just look at just the UK. Consider Japan, Saudi Arabia, Australia, Canada. All those places are also great places to work in cybersecurity. And let me just add, sometimes you don't even need to just be there. Okay, one thing about cybersecurity, the remote jobs are so available that I know people working in their home countries but working for other countries. Okay, so just to also widen your search gap, sometimes you may also want to look at a remote job and not necessarily try to get a sponsorship visa. So yeah, that's all from me. I believe it's up to you now to make your move. Either you are waiting for no results, or you're trying to take, or you're taking action now. Okay. So thank you very much, Queen. That's it for me.
Thank you so much, Afrani. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Shay, as well. Thank you. Oh, I can see all the reactions coming up. Thank you, everyone. You're still sharing your screen, Afrani?
Oh, I am. I thought,
Yes.
oh, apologies.
Yeah.
Let me just.
It's all right.
Is that me or Shay? Just to. I think I'll stop sharing my screen.
Okay. I'll try to see if I can.
Yeah, I think it's Shay. It's Shay sharing the screen.
Oh, okay.
If you're on, yeah, I think. Let me.
Yeah, I'll try to
Yeah.
see if I can.
Let me stop it from there then.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Wow, that was actually a lot to take in there. Thank you, because it's really, really exciting to know that with the skills you are limitless. And Afrani, the amazing thing about this is OneGoal Analytics actually helps all through the way, like all along, so it's not like you're thrown into the deep. We basically hold your hands from the beginning till the end. Basically, we have students who began from zero knowledge, not knowing anything about data analytics, cybersecurity, tech, people who wanted to switch careers and joined OneGoal Analytics. And from there up until this point where they have positioned themselves so much and you're working remotely. And, and when Shay was speaking as well, he also mentioned that this is what he's currently doing. This is what a friend is doing as well, which is really exciting because we're not just saying things, we are actually like, there are loads and loads and loads of people who can testify and who are testifying about One Goal Analytics. And speaking of testimonies, I think that's the next thing on our list. Yes, we've got a lineup of people, students, amazing individuals who are here to share. Oh, I can see Timmy there. Hi, Timmy.
Hey,
I can see some people. Hi, so Timmy is that's Timmy Kayode. He's like one of the great students we have. He's just recently graduated from data analytics and he's done a remarkable job. In fact, I'm just going to say a little about Timmy, just Timmy, if you don't mind. So I was called to give a talk at the University of Hertfordshire, and I saw Timmy there with an award, and I was like, "Oh!" And he was like, "Queen, One Goal Analytics did this," and I was like, "Yay!" So, Timmy, do you mind just saying a little about that experience before we dive deep into how One Goal Analytics have helped you, you know, gain the award and your experience?
thank you very much, Queen. Good evening, everyone from all over the world. Straight to your question, that day was a remarkable and a redefining moment for me. My confidence was like was elevated. It was it was one thing I learned from One Goal Analytics, and apart from the whole analysis, was data storytelling. And
Mhm.
Um, I'm happy that Sheyi is also here. Sheyi was the one that taught us. You know, what I used for to one of the things that helped me for that award, that prestigious award, by the way, was data storytelling. You see,
Mm,
I'll just conclude by saying that data without direction, if you don't have a direction and you do any analysis, data analysis without direction is very, very useless. And so Sheyi
mm,
was able to help us discover the art of data storytelling. Thank you.
mm.
We can go
Wow,
back to the
thank you
question.
so much. Thank you. Data
Yeah.
storytelling. So that's something we don't get to hear very often. I don't think we get to really hear people talk about data storytelling. It's all about the analysis, all about the Excel, the spreadsheets, but having to
Yeah.
work with One Goal Analytics to really learn, that it's all about the story behind it. It's all about how you do these things, right? It's really
Awesome.
amazing. So what were some
Yeah.
of the challenges that you faced before joining One Goal Analytics, and how did the program address them?
Okay. Like I said, I come from a background of, okay, so I've not said it, but I come from a background of finance and investment. I've done industrial chemistry. I've done a lot in the past decade. And one of the things I discovered when I did a SWOT analysis on my entire career, I had to, first of all, take off my strengths. Like I had to recognize my strengths, my weaknesses, and, try to align it with the opportunities and the threats. So yeah,
Yeah.
back to your question back to your question, the challenges for me was how do you make sense of this data to people like CEOs? Some of the things about
Mm,
interpreting things to people is about understanding your stakeholders and understanding the person that wants to listen to you. A CEO doesn't want to hear you say, um, I did analysis. I did use Python and I did a computation. No, he doesn't want to hear that. He wants to hear so pounds was at this year. We made a percentage. All those things. And yeah,
yeah.
on knowing, I think Sheyi addressed that part and helping us to. So yeah, that was the challenge for me. How to tell good stories about my analysis. It was addressed well in one.
Awesome. 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 Because really, what people are really interested in, businesses are interested in, is results, not the steps in which you got the results, but the results basically. So
Nobody
you
cares.
don't want to, yeah, not
Nobody
like they
cares.
don't care about the steps, the procedures, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, what are the results you're achieving?
What are
And
the
that's one
insights?
thing. Yeah, one thing, One Goal Analytics, helping you get to that point where you actually get to the results. So basically, not trying to go over the questions again, but can you just give me like a practical, how did the practical training with One Goal Analytics, how did it help you prepare for the award, for real world projects like the award you gained
Thank
it? Yeah.
Thank you, Queen. I appreciate the fact that you asked this question, even though I was not prepared for this particular one. But you see, one thing about for the data analytics cohort, one thing I liked about the tutor that took us, it starts with how do I put it? Let's talk about some real life things, like, you know, this was the challenge I faced. Because you see, data analytics is wide. You can find yourself in a fashion industry, you can find yourself. So we get to share I and some of my other colleagues, we get to share some challenges we faced at work, you know, and we those things actually help you, get you interested in why you're actually learning what you want to learn. So I think the style of teaching was, let us first start with why we want to learn this. So we are not just going into SQL, let us start importing data. No. So you would come and say, sometimes you face this kind of challenge, and this is what you want to, and this is why we want to use this software, because we want to use it to address this issue. So, and that's the thing. When you go on YouTube, you just see, hi guys, let me introduce you to this
Welcome to my
software
channel.
and but
Yeah.
welcome to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But this one, we first of all talk about, some challenges like this will come. They will ask you questions like this. And now it now goes straight to, he's already preparing us for interviews. So in an interview, what will you find? They will ask you this and this. And that was like appetizer for us, especially for me, because I was interested. I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want. And you're already telling me the goal. You're already showing me the goal through one goal. And we're already looking at the goal already. So
I see what you did there.
yes. Having a direction at the goal makes it easy for us to navigate. So yeah, we know why we are learning it. We're not just learning for taking a lot of things in our head. We know why we are learning it, and we know where we are going to apply it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense because we are one goal. So the one goal we have is
You can say that again. You can say that again.
Everyone who comes in contact with us. Yes, that's so true. That's really, really true. Thank you so much, Timmy. Thank you so much for sharing that. And
thank you,
basically,
Queen.
what stood out the
Queen.
most for you? What stood out about the training style? I know you mentioned that Shay, because this is really, really vital. And I'm glad you used the example you used because sometimes we get to hear people say things like, oh, there's nothing you can learn on your own. There's nothing you can do on your own. You go on YouTube, you go on. But we know that in as much as those tools are helpful, having someone to hold your hands to show your hands-on experience to tell you, because like you rightfully said, this is a diverse, data analytics is applied everywhere, medicine, fashion, everywhere, because data is very useful. Data is very, very useful for business, for everything we do right now. And so basically, the training style, I know you mentioned the training style, but the overall, beyond Shay, now when you get to like here, do the free course and all of that, join the webinar, what's the training style of One Goal Analytics for you?
Well, again, there are many other factors apart from the tutor, but I think really the fact that even after the course, we still have the grace to still go back, to go and maybe brush up our skills before interviews. The fact that we can work on our CVs, that they're giving room for us to work on our CVs together. The fact that we can always approach. It's really a lot. It's really a lot. And unlike OneGo, many other training institutes will be charging like a monthly subscription to still, but Shay is someone that we can approach, and trust me, that has the approachability, the going outside the class to even still ask some questions. Yeah, it has been superb for me.
Yeah, amazing, because this is one thing we strive to do. We strive to have that community where, there's always constant learning, constant, evolving, where we're constantly learning and putting to work what we practice, and we are also introducing the internship where, you get to like really be there, really be grounded. Portfolios will be built, your CVs, all of that, preparing you for interviews, making sure that you really, really arrive at the point, because our goal, which is one goal, is to make sure that you get to your destination, get to your point, not stopping halfway, basically. So what would you recommend if you were going to recommend OneGo to anyone, considering a career in data analytics? Would you recommend OneGo Analytics, basically?
I will recommend to everyone here, again, good evening. I would recommend OneGo strongly, not because of I'm a student, but I've passed through the system. There's a saying that for every system, you are either a product of the system or a victim of a system. I am a product of OneGo Analytics, and I would always recommend them because of their approachability, their understanding of the subject matter, and again, the practicability. It's not really the writing down this, the practicability, and also getting you ready for that job and for that career changing, career changing job. They prepare you for it. So it's more like they're helping you, they are taking your hands over a very mighty river, and they are helping you cross that river, because trust me, the data environment and the cybersecurity environment, yeah, we have a lot of people moving into it, but something has to set you apart from everybody that has a certification. Is how can you apply these skills? You want to be able to apply it. If you want to be able to stand in front of people and with confidence and, understand the basics of data storytelling, trust me, I would say you should sign up for data analytics with OneGo and ensure that you have a open mindset, ask questions. You are paying money, so ask questions. And when you don't understand, ask questions.
Yeah.
The tutors are always ready to go back and explain. Thank you very much, Queen.
Well, thank you so much, Timmy. Thank you. That was so good. Thank you. Hearing that you are a product, not a victim, that's just so spot on. That's just so, because it's really, really the passion for us, like I mentioned at the beginning, is to help individuals, to help everyone who comes across with us, to really move from that point where, oh, I don't know this, to a point where they are experts at that, in their fields. So thank you so much. I know there's been a lot of data analytics, and everyone's just data analytics. Now I'm calling on my next speaker, Valentine Munachi Uzono, who went through cybersecurity. And the beautiful thing about these courses, and everyone who's going to share that is testifying, not putting words in their mouth really, but because I've also been part of these classes. I sneak into some of the lessons, and when one of the lessons I got into, I heard one of the students, some of them are here on the call, so it's not. So I heard one of the students say, oh, I think it was a friend's class I snuck into that particular day. And one of the participants said, Afreni is like a mother. Afreni is like a mother. He's patient. He takes them step by step, through the process and all. And that was, for me, that was really, really, because going beyond the call of duty, going beyond to make sure that everyone is really, really impacted. Everyone is really, 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 really knowledgeable, understands what they're there for. It's just so amazing. So Valentine, so good to see you. So good to see you. How does it feel like being an cybersecurity graduate and an expert already?
Yeah, good evening, Wayne. Good evening, everybody.
Hi.
It's a lot. It's just
Okay.
a lot. It's been a journey, but a very good one because starting off having little to no knowledge of something, but you still want to do it because it's something
Yeah.
You like. Because me, I like anything that has to do with tech, computers, and breaking things and knowing how things work. So for me, joining the cybersecurity was a very big step for me, and I'm glad I took it, and I'm happy for where I am today. I would say I'm more knowledgeable than I am before,
Oh,
5 months prior to joining. Yes.
amazing. So, what initially attracted you to cybersecurity, and why did you choose One Goal Analytics, to begin your journey of knowledge?
Okay. I'm still a student in the university. Uh, 5 months ago, we are going on our IT industrial training, COS program. So I was looking for an area to go into. So, and I found out that yes, I wanted to do cybersecurity. But the right platform is what else that was that I said was a hassle because there was so many things and so many places to look into, and there's this fear of not knowing what you get at the end of the program, you know.
Yeah.
So after looking at a couple places, met a friend in the university who directed us to Prof. Annie, and from there he told us about Wango Analytics that he's
Mm,
been working with you guys. He's a partner, and judging from him, we say that yes, this is a great option. And he gave us the link just to check it out, not just to take his word for it, but also for us to go in and check it ourselves. After
mm.
looking at the program, I say yes, this is what I'm looking for. This is it. Yes, and I had to join and on board with the May cohort.
Amazing, amazing. So, how did the hands-on training and mentorship from your instructor impact your learning?
I would say it has been the best teaching experience I've had in my life.
Oh, wow.
And why is it? Is that I think the universities and high institutions adopt this way of teaching too because it's more
Mm,
practical. It's more going in to
mm,
actually get something to know, get the knowledge about the job, about the
mm,
role you're about to play, And given that this is something you want to go into career wise in life and you're hoping to expand with it, you want to know like the real details, the real days about it. So I would say
mm,
one goal, the training has been very impactful. It has changed
mm,
my whole mindset about cybersecurity and
mm,
hacking in general. Because coming into cybersecurity, all you all was on my mind was okay, the two sides, the hacking part and the people defending,
yeah.
the offensive side and the distant. But when you get into the program, you see there's a whole lot more to the field of
Mm,
cybersecurity. There's a whole lot more to tech in general. There's a whole lot more,
yeah.
and it doesn't require so much of a technical knowledge. It doesn't even require any technical knowledge to start at first.
Mm,
You just have to start it. You know,
mm,
it's like a rabbit hole. You can look on and on, but until you get into it and start going deeper, that's when you
yeah.
actually start to learn. That's how you start to expand. Yes. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I've taken this road. I'm glad I've joined in. Yes.
Oh, amazing, amazing. What she said was so, so, so key, saying that you wish universities and other institutions would adapt this learning. I know that that's the missing gap. That's the missing gap, and that's what One Goal Analytics hope to fill in, because we lose that practicability, that being practical, being where people just it's all theory, and no, really going down to
Yes.
the roots, like really getting your hands dirty and getting to really know the thing.
Yes.
And another point you mentioned, saying that it's not technical at the beginning. You don't have to be, because people have this myth, this idea that, oh, I need to be tech savvy, I need to know tech before I start. But like you said, Val, you said just start. Just
Yes.
start. Just start. I think that's the anchor word for me today. Just start. Even when Timmy was speaking to me, said take action, like take action. That's really, really amazing. So can you share a specific project or skill you developed during the program that you're now applying in practice?
Okay. Um. Okay. Let me take what I use every day. Just everyday daily life of it.
Yeah.
Before joining the program, I only used Windows. For any computing task that I wanted to do. But joining in cybersecurity, I had to install Kali Linux, which is a distribution of Kali, which is a distribution of Linux on a Hypervolt. So it's been my main place for practice. It's been my main place for going in, trying in, whether I'm using softwares or open source platforms to try things and learn about some other things, and to be in a secure point of sight without doing things in my main host. So I would say
Mm,
going in using Kali has been a very major tool that I use every day. And it is packed with so much tools and so much resources for cybersecurity, for hacking, for exploit, for so many other things. It comes just installed. So Kali has been the number one using Bash, which is the command line,
mm,
just going in every day. And I know it might seem scary at first because I wouldn't lie, it was a bit you might look at it or look someone doing it and say, this is too much. Am I sure that I will comprehend this? But
mm,
when it just my first time seeing someone coding, uh, it was strange to me because all my life I've been using the GUI part of the computer, the graphics user part of it, where you can easily interact whatever you want to
mm,
do. But going in from the terminal, going in using maybe Python or any other programming language distribution or API, you know,
mm.
it seems a bit weird. It starts seeing just text written in just the normal Gothic form. You start seeing color schemes of things. It
Yeah.
start getting scary. You say, is this person even doing something legal? But it's just about having the knowledge of it. And you don't even have to be just once you start understanding things. Because if you're
Mm,
outside looking into it, it looks strange, it looks difficult, but actually it's not difficult. It will take some time,
amazing.
yes, to get some things going on.
Yeah.
It might be a bit faster getting some software skill because some of them might be demanding, some of them might be a bit tricky for each
Yeah.
system because we are using so different different specifications of different
Mm,
systems. What might be my setting that works for me might be different for someone else.
mm,
But at the end of
yeah.
the day, if you just take it easy and go through it, and you see you make more progress than you are
Yeah.
just looking at it. Yes,
Mm.
so that's what
So
I
how
say.
do you feel the course has positioned you for global opportunities in cybersecurity?
I feel I'm in a way better position right now. I
Yeah.
feel I understand better now. I might
Yeah.
not know or I might not be an expert, but I'm in a way better position right now because
Yeah.
I'm thinking before my thinking was okay since this is only the offense and defense part of things in cybersecurity that it might be even much more difficult to find jobs or and all that. But going into it and seeing the difference and so many other parts of it, you
Mm-hmm.
can start up with something you're more
Comfortable with.
comfortable with, and just
Yeah.
get into it. And it's a continuous step of learning. Every day you learn something new. And I
Mm.
myself, I'm not somebody that likes to read or study that much. I'm not like you. I know I don't want to bash the education system so much, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are my Nigerian brothers and sisters here on the chat, you cannot test that it's a bit uh it's not so well feasible, learning coding and all that kind of stuff in
Mm,
school and maybe in the lesson centers or whatever. Because most of the time you see yourself just doing the objectives and coding with writing codes on paper, something like that,
mm,
But when you do things, it's hands-on in a practical form. You get to understand because even the theories you have learned and written in exams and passed, when you get to
yeah,
do it right in physical, you get that fear of I don't even know what I'm doing. Is it this
yeah,
brain that you know? But uh, one go has made it so much easier. I know when you are learning something, you are learning something visually. It sticks with
mm,
you, even
yeah,
if you don't remember the whole context of things. You can still recall. Yes, I've seen something like this before, and it's not something that is scary to you anymore. You are now more
yeah,
confident. You are now more comfortable with it. You just have to look a few things up and okay, this is it,
mm,
this is it. Yes, I knew I have done something like this. So I think it has
mm,
put me in a way better position now. I'm looking at so many different options, and at the same time, I'm still learning to
yeah.
push forward. Yes.
I'm so excited to hear this wonderful feedbacks, really, because hearing you talk about being positioned in the best or better position compared to how you were months ago. And it's really fantastic because this is 5 months of training with One Goal
Yes.
Analytics. This is 5 months of learning, and there's still more to learn. And you have that opportunity, that privilege to still learn from your instructor. You still have
Yes.
internships, you still have mentorship. That's just so wonderful because it means that One Goal Analytics never leaves you halfway, never leaves
Yes.
you, halfway at all. So thank you so much, Valentine, for sharing. Thank you. So if someone is unsure about starting a cybersecurity career, what would you say to them about your experience at One Goal Analytics?
Well, I'll just say, there's always a smart way to do things now, the way everything is going into uh, tech and AI or no. So there's definitely a smart way to do everything, and I believe you cannot agree with that. So for you to get into, if you are looking to go into cybersecurity and you're not sure, maybe OneGo is the perfect option for you. I think OneGo is the smart way to get into cybersecurity and get into any tech area you're looking for because
Mm,
the support you get and what you get at the end of it, you'll be truly satisfied on yourself. Yes, I'm happy I made this decision. I'm happy I took this route because it's
mm,
all about that experience you get at the end of it. You know,
mm,
even before joining, I tried installing the VirtualBox hypervisor for 2 weeks before I joined, but I was not able to do it because I came upon running into errors. I asked a friend of mine who was also in tech. He gave me some, videos to watch on YouTube and all, but I still ran into the same error. But it was until the second week of joining OneGo, which I still ran into the same error when we tried to do it in class, and I had to tell a friend, who was our mentor. I said, okay, since this is taking so much time. I think it took about 2 hours after we finished the day's lecture. I said, this is taking so much time. Maybe let's put a date on it. I think it was on a Thursday evening by 5 or 5:30. He told me to prompt him. Then we went in, just the two of us, no class that day. We just took his time, and
And
we spent
this is
about
not your
an hour or so.
usual, this
This
is
is
not
not
your
our
usual
usual time of lesson.
lessons.
It's not our
Mm,
time of visual training. So this is the kind of
mm,
support you get. He took his
mm,
time. We connected. He went to. He started looking at log files. The log file of software he just launched. He started looking at all those things, and from there I
mm,
learned how to look into all those kind of things. Start looking at
mm,
start trying some command prompt command extent. I even went, we still went to the bias to make sure that we enable visualization. So you get to learn a lot of things, and with someone that's patient like that with you, just to take you along the whole process of doing things to make sure that you get that which you want, that which you have paid for, to get the experience that we are looking forward to, and to build that
Mm.
skill. Yes, I think that's the most
Thank you
beautiful thing.
so much. Thank you so much. And what more can you say? Hearing from directly from him, imagine that, you've paid for a course that is scheduled to run Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so basically that's your time schedule, that's your time slot, that's when your time for lessons. But imagine an instructor taking a day out of his personal time to really make sure that a student gets what they like, meets up with the other people, gets solve that problem that they're encountering. And he goes beyond, far and beyond. This is just so amazing to hear. Thank you so much, Valentine, for sharing.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for having
thank
me.
you, thank you, thank you, everyone, because this is really, really what One Goal Analytics is all about. It's all about helping us, helping the people, helping everyone who's interested in transitioning from whatever career, whatever field into tech. So that's our goal. Our goal is to help everyone make that transition smoothly, seamlessly, because we're in such a community and space where everyone is about profit making, what's in it for us, what's in it for me, and all. But One Goal Analytics is beyond just that. This has become like a family. This has become like a home, a safe place where everyone can really learn, be vulnerable, to say, oh, I don't know this. Can you teach me? Can we go through it again? To ask questions like Simi was saying earlier, to ask questions and not feel that there are no silly questions. And One Goal Analytics we do not accept that there are any silly questions. Every question is heard, every concern that is shared is taken up and is resolved, and everyone is in a better position, better place than they first joined. So thank you again. Thank you, Munachi. Thank you. It's so good to hear
Thank
from
you
you.
for having me.
So good to hear that you're already sliding and gliding through the tech world. We are so happy, and you're still here with us. You're still here because there's the internship programs and the mentorship programs as well going on. So thank you again so much. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you for having me. It's been an
Thank
honor.
you.
I feel,
Yes.
I feel seen, having you guys reaching out and calling us all to invite
Oh,
us to the webinar. Yes,
oh,
it means a lot. It means, it's being seen and having the progress going on. Yes, thank you so
mm,
much.
thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. You can hear for yourself. Thank you so much. It's just so excited. And with no further delay, I'd like to just call on James. Hi, James.
Hey there.
Hi. Thank you
Hi.
so much.
No problem at all. Let me share my screen. Slide deck. How's that looking for everyone? Let me just
Perfect.
go on to slideshow,
Yeah.
if it will let me. Okay, so welcome everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm going to go through a series of slides. You are going to hear a series of messages that have already been shared by Shay and by Afran. I will just point out a couple of things that I'm going to emphasize in my conversation with you. One of them, Fran was talking about positioning. I use a slightly different term, but essentially it's the same thing. It's about building your own personal brand. So I've got some advice on how to do that and how to be really quite impactful, because the skills are one thing, but it's the ability to make the skills visible to people who are hiring in a very crowded marketplace. Well, I'll show you some data. The other interesting thing is university degrees, they are what they are, but the professional certifications that are out there for the skills that we're talking about, they can actually be differential in how people perceive you. And if you get the opportunity to do any projects as well, there are also great ways to emphasize that you're a little bit different to the rest of the market, but I'll go into those in a bit more detail. Before we do that, everyone on the call, I'm assuming, is in a similar situation where you are doing one thing at the moment and you want to do something else. So the thing that I've done in my career 4 times so far is what's called a career pivot, where I've changed from doing one thing to doing something else. The reasons behind a career pivot are probably the same, mostly. There may be some exceptional reasons, but usually your passion lies somewhere else. You took a job because you have to pay the bills, but you actually want to be doing something else. You want to own your own business, or you want to do cybersecurity, or you want to do something else, which leads to dissatisfaction at work. So you go in, you do the job, you get paid, but you hate it. And the other connected point is around erosion of potential. So the longer you stay doing something you don't enjoy, you're missing an opportunity to learn skills elsewhere in a different environment that will bring you more pleasure, more value, and more worth. So if you are thinking of a career pivot, it is a long-term strategy. It's not something that comes along opportunistically. For most people, these have to be engineered, they have to be designed. Some people are fortunate, the opportunity comes along and they're able to grab it and go forward with that. So you need to understand what is your drive for change, what's your deep motivation, work out what it is you want to do, work out what it is you don't want to do, and then have your trajectory or your roadmap. And from there, you're able to go through a series of iterations in your career. The next slide is going to talk about my particular journey, and I just want to point out 1 or 2 little things. So my first career pivot was actually after I completed my executive MBA down in London. And at the time, and I still think this is true actually, at the time, the advice I received was, don't change 2 things at the same time, just change 1 thing. So what they meant by that was, if you were going to go for a different kind of job, try and do it within the same company that you are in, because you know the culture of the company and you understand the people, you understand the processes, but it's a new job. So you're learning a new skill. So that's what I did first time. I stayed in the same company, but I moved into business operations, finance, and strategy. Then I moved across to a different company, but was doing the same job. So kind of like business operations, but I actually founded my own companies as side hustles. The first one, I was making beer in Bermondsey down in London. Did that for nearly 5 years. But again, it was a side hustle. But it was an opportunity for me to learn new skills, particularly for those based in the UK. There's an organization called HMRC, His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, and they do not joke around. So if you make a mistake on your tax submission, they find you very quickly. And I learned that lesson incredibly quickly. So that was a great skill to get better at the regulations and compliance side of running a small business. After that, I was invited, so this is around about COVID time, so March 2020, I was invited to become Chief Operating Officer at a new startup, a health technology charity based down in London. And I set up and ran that company, grew it from the original 4 founders up to 55 people, and I did that in about 18 months. So again, that was a huge opportunity for me to grow skills. And as a result of that, it allowed me to then develop into my next business, which was around full-time strategy consulting, because now I had lots of stories. I had lots of really bad experiences and some really great experiences. And I could share those experiences and stories with people who were further back behind me in terms of their career development. So as they're starting their company, I could teach them things that they shouldn't be doing, or things that they should be doing. And then that led me to where I am today, which is different job, different company. So I'm now changing 2 things at the same time. So the first 2 pivots, I changed 1 thing. The last 2 pivots, I got confident enough in career changing that I was able to do 2 changes at the same time. Okay. And that's because I'd built up skills and I built up experience, and I'd also built up confidence to say, actually, I can absorb a new culture and I can understand new skills quickly. But if I had done that for my very first career pivot, that would have been too much. That would have been too much for me to take on. And I would not have been as successful as I was had I just focused in on different job, same company. So that's the theory that they give you. It worked for me for the first company afterwards. Next one. Okay, so I was asked to provide some hiring trend information. So I've covered UK, US, Europe. We also have some Middle East stuff in there as well. The next slides are going to get quite busy. For people who are viewing this through a phone, I'm sorry, I apologize. It's going to be really tiny on your little phone screen, but if you're looking it through a computer, hopefully you should be able to read. So this is recent data. This is from this week and from last week. And what we're seeing is, what is it now? It's the 20th. So 3 days ago, the CEO of NVIDIA was actually in the UK. He's still in the UK, actually. He's following President Trump around. He made a very, very insightful comment, which is that AI was not going to take your job. Someone using AI is going to take your job. And earlier this month on the FT, which is the Financial Times, there was an article about Grant Thornton. And Grant Thornton is an accounting firm, one of the top five accounting firms in this country. And they have actually fired pretty much all of their secretaries because these are roles that can now be done by someone using AI. Okay. Now, the two were not connected. It's just that Jensen Huang had a particular insight into how AI will transform the workplace. Grant Thornton separately and unconnectedly decided that they were going to get rid of their secretaries and replace them with AI type assistants. So what does that tell you? If you want to be future-proof and be ready, you're going to have to pick up new skills, and you're going to have to understand that learning to learn is the new currency, because whatever's happening today, 5 years from now, it's going to change again. So you have to keep constantly learning and growing. And it's not learn, stop, it's continuous learning, because these things are constantly changing, and it's very, very difficult to stay ahead of the trend if you don't follow the trend. All right, LinkedIn. New York Times published an article earlier this month, which was picked up in eWeek. LinkedIn is currently processing between 9,000 to 11,000 job applications every minute. Okay, so that's all applications, not just tech, everything, okay? One thing that's increased is the number since last year, so that's up by 45% in terms of volume of applications. Job seekers are using AI. Understandably so. I don't blame them at all. It is completely natural and normal to do that. What's an interesting reaction to job seekers using AI is that the recruiters are not enjoying this process anymore because they are refusing to use AI. They are very much people who enjoy the interaction with another human. So before the AI came along, in terms of large language models, people would apply, they would write a cover letter, it would be personalized, and it would take a long time. So you wouldn't be able to do 50 applications in 3 minutes, whereas now you can. So what's happening is that the recruiters themselves are not getting the return or the intrinsic reward that they'd like to get from getting to know a person individually. As a result, they are resistant to the deployment of AI. So what's happening right now in 2025, September time, is that the companies that are embracing AI technology are overtaking the recruitment firms that prefer to go with a more traditional approach. We don't know how that one's going to play out. People eventually will have to adapt, or they will have to move on. Okay, so that's probably going to be what will happen by the end of the year and into 2026. But what you should start to see is an increase in the number of applications per position that you're interested in. Recognize that people are going to be using AI. So if you understand prompt engineering, and if you understand how to manage and construct data, you can actually produce better content that may pass or be perceived as being more differentiated than a person that just goes in with a very basic use of and a basic knowledge of AI. Okay, so let's look at market demand. So what we're seeing at the moment currently is a slowing in demand, but the demand is still there. Okay, so it's not peaked. It's coming off the edge of the peak, but it's still high. Okay, so that's across the UK, Europe, and the US. The reason for this is to do with economic uncertainty. I'm not going to explain the reasons. You know all what's going on out there in the world. But there are some roles that remain in demand, the premium areas. So we've spoken about them already. So AI, data, and analytics, cloud infrastructure, and of course, cybersecurity is going to be on there as well. And the reason why I say that is for those of you who haven't checked the news in the last hour or the last 2 hours, there is a cybersecurity incident happening right now at Heathrow Airport, at Brussels Airport, and at Berlin International Airport, because one company that provides the software for checking your bag into the airport is currently under ransomware.
Yeah.
That company is called Collins Aerospace. The parent company is called RTX. And all of the desks in the airports in Heathrow, Brussels, and Berlin are currently no longer able to process baggage. But guess what? Not all of Heathrow has shut down, because there is one company that is still working because they had a robust mitigation strategy against a cybersecurity attack. And that company is called British Airways. So Terminal 5 at Heathrow is fully operational. Terminals 1, 2, 3, and 4 at Heathrow are shut down. Okay? So that tells you a lot, because in situations where it goes wrong really, really fast. And you have to have effective mitigation. You have to understand not only the job that you do, but the job the person next to you does, and understand how they connect. Because if one chain in that link gets broken, everything stops. So British Airways have a very robust mitigation strategy for that particular risk, and they are deploying it as we speak. Okay. Now, for the trends, this has been touched upon as well, cross-border and remote hiring. So that Shay was talking about this earlier. So companies are willing to accept non-traditional ways of working, shall we say. So again, pre-COVID, this never would have happened. You would have been forced to come to the office. You would have been forced there 5 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever it might be. But these days, the hybrid remote home working is much more acceptable. And in certain cases, for certain roles, it's probably better actually, because less distractions, less noise, less all that stuff going on, and you can just focus. So if your role is what I would call heads down and you're looking into the computer, then remote working probably is better for you. But if you're more of a sort of a sales marketing person where you have to have interactions and you're meeting clients, then working from home is probably not great. In this particular case, remote working works well. Okay. So again, just repeating. So we spoke about AI, we spoke about ML, cloud architecture, and cybersecurity. These are the premium roles that are attracting a lot of interest. The other piece, and we've kind of touched upon it with the various different contributors, so I just want to re-emphasize this point. It's not all about the hard tech skills. It's also about the soft skills as well. The ability to be an effective communicator, the ability to be really good at stakeholder management, and to understand how someone likes to receive information. So when you come from a sort of a heads down working environment, they may prefer data tables, numbers in rows. They may prefer the written word. If you're talking to someone who's more from a creative commercial side, they may prefer visuals. But it's understanding how people receive and process information. So that ability to understand how people can take information and process it is also great to have. The other area that's growing as well is around sustainability. So it's called ESG. And there's some negative press out there as well about a thing called greenwashing, but don't let that distract you. There is a huge amount of investment. There's a huge amount of interest in sustainability, efficiency, and what's called green tech. And there are a growing number of companies actually who are investing significantly in ocean technology, where they're trying to clean up the plastic from the ocean and find ways to convert that plastic into something that can then be used as a secondary processed product. All right, apologies for people on the small screens. What I wanted to do here was just give you a bit of a data table broken down by skill area and I need to move these things so I can't actually see myself. Apologies for that. Oh, what have I done now? Stop that share. Hang on a second. Bear with me. Apologies, guys. Yeah, that one. Right, data tables back up. Right, so the reason why I wanted to pull this together, this slide and the next slide are going to be very busy, but I just wanted to break down the areas, the hard and the soft, and also explain a little bit why it's in demand at the moment. So we've spoken about AI, we've spoken about cloud, we've spoken about cyber, data engineering, data management has all been mentioned. So I'll just allow you to read over that. And what I will say, for those who are coming into tech for the first time, I'm just going to share one piece of advice. There is a word on this screen, or it's an acronym actually, it's SQL. And if you don't know how to pronounce SQL properly and you mispronounce it in a job interview, probably not the best thing. So let me tell you now, SQL is not pronounced SQL, it's pronounced SQL. And the reason why it's pronounced SQL is that's the name of the company, but they had a copyright issue with their company name. So they weren't allowed to call themselves SQL because there's another company called SQL in the US. So they had to go with SQL, but everyone calls them SQL. So don't say SQL in an interview, please. All right. So where I just wanted to focus on here is around the last 3 rows here. So green, sustainable tech, soft skills, and remote hybrid working skills. Okay. These are the areas where you can build differentiating messages to the hiring manager. Okay. So if you have experience in carbon footprint modeling, and one of the clients I'm working with at the moment, they're actually building an AI platform right now for companies working in the pharmaceutical sector to do footprint modeling for their carbon consumption. So it's a growing space, and as I say, there's a lot of companies now focusing on removing plastics from the ocean, getting a lot of investment there as well. But again, communication, problem solving, competency skills, stakeholder management, and the understanding of how to present and narrate a story through data. These are the things that can be differentiating, especially in an interview situation. If you're able to deliver in a very punchy and a very effective way, a lot of information quickly, then that can be well received and well perceived. So I've left this on the screen long enough. I was filling time to allow you to read. So hopefully you've had a chance to read through what it is you were interested in. I'm now going to go to the next slide, which is equally busy, but has different information. If I can. There we go. Okay, so some salary information. So across the UK, these are the areas where there's a lot of interest at the moment. And again, we spoke about salary ranges were presented for, I think it was like an entry-level data analyst role. So here's a little bit more information, depending, these are slightly more senior positions. So it gives you something aspirational to aim for. Okay. Remember I said your career pivot is a journey, it's a long-term roadmap. So journey from data analyst or from cybersecurity entry-level position to something more senior. So this is what it could look like. If you are thinking about careers outside of the UK and focusing on Europe, there are slightly different specializations. So they're more focused on data centers, data and AI, and cross-border tech roles. So within Europe, there's a thing called Schengen, which means that there are 7 countries where you can move without a passport. As long as you have residency in one of those countries, you can move across those 7 countries freely. So you're able to do cross-border tech roles much more effectively. So if you're based in northern France, you could work in West Germany, you could work in northern Holland or southern Brussels, southern Belgium. You know, you could move around quite easily there. In the US, obviously they're bigger numbers, and there's health insurance considerations and all that sort of other stuff. But for senior and mid-tech roles, especially Amazon software engineers, you could be earning a fairly decent wage. But, and again, to put this in context, I was in a conversation with an individual who lived in one of the New York suburbs, not Manhattan, New York State, one of the big suburbs out in New York State, and she was earning $250,000 a year, and her husband had to go out and get a job to augment the income for the family because they had a few kids and they were living in a large house in upstate New York, and 250,000 wasn't enough. Okay, so again, just a bit of perspective, but if you have more modest means and a simpler life and not such a large family, then perhaps that sort of situation in upper state New York could be for you. Again, I've filled a bit of time. I've left it on screen long enough. Hopefully you've had time to read and take from the slide what you want. Okay, we've spoken about the size of the market. We've spoken about the competition. We've spoken about the potential prize at the end. So how do you actually begin the process? So I'm not going to go over this too much, but this is basically just a couple of things to think about. So if you are looking to move into one of those domains, you need to think about the skills and the techniques that are required or expected in that domain. Okay, so Python, SQL, cloud data platforms, all the way down to software engineering. So, if you're thinking about becoming a software engineer, take a look at those things. The thing I did want to draw everyone's attention to was around the certifications piece, which is towards the bottom of the slide. So degrees still hold value. Obviously, I'm not saying that they don't, but the degree itself, 3 or 4 year program, whatever it is you're doing, there's a blend of academic, there's a blend of theory, there's a blend of practical. You may have a year in industry, which will be great because that gives you a really nice story to tell recruiters later. But the thing that you can do in parallel to all of that is you can study part-time and get these certifications. So if you can get I don't know, AWS or a cloud architect or something like that, or a data engineer, those are really, really impactful because that's the thing that most people don't do. And you have to differentiate yourself. And remember, every minute, 11,000 people are applying for jobs on LinkedIn. So these things do matter. They do make a difference in how you are perceived. Okay. Maybe you're going to like this, maybe you're not, but LinkedIn is non-negotiable. You cannot survive without LinkedIn. And I'm sorry if you don't like LinkedIn, tough, get over it, move on. You need to be able to use LinkedIn not only as basic social media to say, hey, friend, haven't seen you for a while. You have to use this as a weapon to beat back the market because you're up against the market and the market's getting 11,000 applications every minute. So you need to be highly active, but you need to be producing content that is intelligent and makes sense and links to your strategy. So you need to publish insights. If you've done a project, you need to provide a summary of the project. Not the whole project, a summary of the project to make sure that it's digestible to someone sat on a train looking at their phone and they've got 2 minutes and they just want to read through some things, okay? You should also comment intelligently on industry news. So I just gave you an example a moment ago. There's a thing happening right now in Heathrow Airport. If you're a cybersecurity specialist, maybe you should be drawing some insights on the relationship between how Collins Aerospace and British Airways have responded to the same threat differently. Those sorts of insights can be really impactful for someone who's looking for that. And don't forget, the posts that you make stay on there forever unless you delete them, which means that as a recruiter, 6 months from now, I can go through your post history and see the sort of things that you've been saying. And trust me, we do that. And if you've been saying stupid things, you don't get the interview. So go through your posts, check your history, and if you've been commenting on, I don't know, silly things that don't make any sense with your brand and your LinkedIn style, get rid of them, okay? Talking of brands, you need to build the brand and it can take time, okay? So you start now, clear the history of the nonsense and the rubbish that appears in your feed, get rid of all of that and start building the brand. If you get an opportunity to go to an event to speak, or if you get an opportunity to write a blog, please do so. Not many people will read it, but it's not about the instantaneous feedback. It's like for me, in 6 months' time, when I come and check your profile and I go through your history, I want to see the blogs. I want to see what you're talking about, okay? Networking strategically. So I lecture on this at various different universities down in London. And I say the same things. Some people listen, most of them don't. And the reason most of them don't is it's really hard work to network correctly. It is not a short-term thing. Networking is a long-term commitment of time, effort, and patience. So things like in the UK, you can go to places in London, you can go to places in Manchester, you can attend these events. Some are free, some are not free. You can go along to hackathons if you're a hacker. If you're not a hacker, go anyway. You're going to meet some cool people. You never know how useful they're going to be later. If you're traveling around Europe, Berlin, stunning place to go for tech. France, Paris is a growing area. There's also a nice little hub building in Lyon. And if you're heading over the Atlantic into the US, clearly, there's some really, really important things happening in the US, but I would also urge you to take a look at Canada, Toronto in particular, and Vancouver. They have some really, really smart people in Vancouver and Toronto also. As I say, you need to just get out there, and it's hard work. It takes time, it takes effort, it's exhausting, but ultimately it builds a strong brand, it builds a strong network, and the people that you meet today could become a future CEO in 10 years' time. You just don't know. So don't exclude, and try and interact and try and find some common ground, or somewhere there can be an exchange of experience or an exchange of skills. Otherwise, if you're just gathering connections because you want to have lots of connections, then you're going to have to curate your feed, because they're going to start filling your message box with nonsense, and you don't have time for that. Okay, so you come through the process, you pick up the new skills, you've got the certifications, you've got an amazing brand on LinkedIn, you've built your connections, they're all great people. Then you have to ask yourself, what do I want to do now? So there's a couple of choices here, and this very much depends on what you enjoy, what you think you're good at. But if you think about the career pivot, if you're going into something that you've never done before, then maybe try and stay within a company that you're familiar with, or a culture that you know about. If you've never worked in a startup, maybe not the best place to begin your journey. Try and go with a more stable multinational or a larger SME. However, if you're comfortable with the living at the edge of sanity and working at the speed of the internet, then a startup is perfect for you. So I began in a multinational and then moved over to startups. And the transition for me was invigorating, but really scary. But I wouldn't go back. I don't think I wouldn't go back to a large organization, because I'm just used to getting things done quickly now. But anyway, that's a personal choice. You need to work out what works well for you. The other thing is as well, and this is where you can do your long-term strategy, when you map the skills that you want to acquire, and then you look at the market and you see the overlap. So we were talking earlier about, data science as a skill set and cybersecurity as a skill set. But then if you map in knowledge around AI or machine learning, they complement each other. And then suddenly you've expanded your pie chart for market demand. Whereas your pie chart was quite small to begin with. If you had just the one skill, you add in 2 or 3 extra skills, and suddenly your pie chart gets bigger. So think of it in those terms. Think about the options and the opportunities and how many different choices you will get. Okay, hot spots for the markets. In the UK, this is going to come as no surprise. London is the place to be. However, I'm going to fly the flag for the north. Manchester is also an extremely cool place at the moment as well. Edinburgh is also a real hotspot for tech. In Europe, Berlin we've spoken about. I won't go over Berlin. Berlin is extremely cool. Amsterdam has some amazing people there. Paris I mentioned. Interestingly, Stockholm is growing as well, and there's a huge. I'm working with quite a few Nordic companies, so Norway, Sweden, Denmark. And Stockholm is very much a hub that's growing in tech, and in particular in green tech. That's where it's growing quite a lot. United States, okay, you know this already. West Coast, San Francisco, San Diego, Palo Alto, California, the whole of the Californian strip. Everything there is just buzzing with entrepreneurial innovation, discovering the tech. As you probably heard or you've been reading in the news, there's a guy called Elon Musk who had a bit of an argument with the governor of California and decided to move his entire company to Texas. In doing so, he tried to bring with him a lot of the people from West Coast. And as a result, it attracted or created a magnetic effect. And now Austin in Texas is becoming a bit of a tech hotspot. New York kind of goes without saying, but anyway, New York obviously is a place. Sorry, is there someone speaking? No, okay.
Apologies, yeah.
So yeah, New York, obviously. So if you're thinking US, my gut feel would say go West Coast, go California, unless there's a particular focus around fintech, in which case all the big banks are in New York. But don't forget Canada. There you go, I said it. Now, Jensen Huang is in London at the moment with President Trump. Well, President Trump's left, but Jensen Huang is around closing some deals. So the valuation of UK tech market at the beginning of the month bears no comparison to the valuation of the UK tech market today, because they have just announced a £2 billion investment into the UK. All right. That's why I say it keeps moving quick. OpenAI have just announced that they're going to be launching a platform that is going to be a competitor to LinkedIn. 11,000 applications per minute. Of course, OpenAI are going to do something. That's a huge business. Why wouldn't they? So that's what's happening at the moment. And before we close, and I'm just going to leave this on the screen, just for those of you who enjoy reading, that is the breakdown of what AI is, because we use those two letters, but we don't actually know what it means. And I shall pause there and take a drink of water. Right, you've had enough time to read that. 3, 2, 1, gone. Back to you, Queen.
Well, thank you so much, James. Thank you. That was really, really loaded. Thank you. Thank you. And also knowing that, the things you shared are very relevant, like very, very relevant to us now at the moment and in this season, even with the current what's going on with at Heathrow at the moment. It's really, really, it just drives the message home. It just drives it home, really. So thank you so much. Thank you. Are there any questions? Are there any questions at all? Do we have any questions? Just going to look through the charts.
I don't have a question, but I mean, after the insights of James, I just feel like I should be looking for my next job very soon. So thanks for that.
Yes, because really, when he mentioned the career pivot, I like, these are some of the things that I wouldn't say I knew, because when we talk about pivoting into, going into tech, you just jump right into, to the deep and all, but actually seeing, and it makes a lot of sense because you want to start, you want to change, the same company, but change the job, then moving on, giving yourself that grace to actually grow and not just dive real deep into the culture and then have a meltdown or a breakdown, and all. So that was really, really, I think that's like the first big point for me, So thank you so much, James. And I believe Afreni would not dive, based on what you
I'm
shared.
definitely changing jobs. That's gold information. That's gold information. Thank you, James.
Yeah. And the tiny, not tiny, but very crucial bits we don't pay attention to, when he mentioned the LinkedIn thing, we don't pay attention to these things because we just see it as, a tool and all of that. And for some of us, we actually are aware that recruiters go into the our LinkedIn profiles to really take a look. But, when he mentioned about commenting, for me, that was actually something, it really struck a chord, because imagine commenting on those news feeds and all. It positions you, like he said, and you said, Afreni, being positioned, positioning, it positions you as the authority. So thank you again, James. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Victoria said, building a community that is constantly evolving is everything for me. Thank you, Victoria. Thanks for sharing that. So Victor said, cybersecurity is what I would like to go into, but I don't have any knowledge about it. So how do I get started? Hi, Afreni. Do you want to take that question?
Yes. Okay. So I think Val did speak a bit around that, and it's very simple. Personally, what I tell people is, we as OneGo Analytics, we are here as an enabler. Okay. What what we really need from you is your commitment. Once you have the will to go into cybersecurity, we are here to give you every necessary skill and knowledge to help you get there. You need to be ready, you need to be willing, you need to be ready to commit to whatever we will be teaching you, so that we can get you to that goal that you are trying to achieve, because we are one goal, So yeah, it's not difficult, like Val said. It requires commitment, yes, but once you have committed to it, or once you have a vision that this is what you want to achieve, trust me, you always get there, and we are here to support you get to that destination. So yes, we're here. It's very doable. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we also have free courses. You can take a look and see for yourself to see, oh, what's going on. Is it something I want to do? We've got free courses on data analytics and cybersecurity as well. You can take a look and see if it's something that, and decide where your passion lies, really.
Yeah.
Because it's all about passion again. Yeah. So, and one of the things James mentioned when he was speaking was about, passion. The certifications really matter. And we at OneGo Analytics, we're not saying, we're not even, we're basically enabling you. We're enabling you filling that gap, with the practical steps, the practical, things you need to get on with. So without wasting any more time, Afreni, do we have any special announcements for the people joining us for the first time today?
Absolutely. Give me a moment. Let me just share my screen and we can get on to that. Just a second. Okay, there it is. Okay. So, we do have a couple of announcements. I was going to talk about why you should join OneGo, to help you through your career aspirations, but I believe that will not even be necessary after hearing all those testimonies from the other students. But I'll briefly just talk through, one thing we are really passionate about is delivering practical hands-on experience. Okay, that can simulate real world experiences, so that when you go for interviews, you're able to articulate exactly what you have learned or what you have practiced. Okay, so that's just one of our hallmarks. We do give job references. We help you with job interview preparations. We help you or guide you to also create your CV. You get a certificate at the end of the whole course, and on top of it all, it's very, very affordable. Talking about affordability, there is something we are doing this time around, because you have spent time to be with us, spent over an hour to listen to the webinar and everything, we are giving out an offer, and this is a 30% off the course value, okay, within 48 hours. I believe the course value is £500. Queen, confirm that for me. Yes, that is correct. So what we're doing is, if you register any course of your choice, in 48 hours, you're getting 30% off the fee or the course amount. Okay, and this is the clock starts ticking from now till 48 hours. Okay, we want to make it as flexible as we can. Beyond this, beyond the 30%, we also allow payment in installments, because we do understand the position of a lot of the students that we work with, and we normally want to give room. Okay, mind you, our main focus is to get people out there, okay, who can achieve the goals that they are passionate about. Okay, so our focus is not too much or too stringent on making payment, doing this, doing that. If you don't have the money, then you cannot. No, we try to make it as flexible as we can so that everybody can be part of this beautiful journey. Okay, so starting now, there is a 30% discount on our course fee, and it's going to last for 48 hours. What we also want to do to ensure that people are serious about their commitment, they really want to do it. If you are really, really interested, you can put your name down in the chat right now. Queen and the admin and other guys that we work with will reach out to you as soon as possible so that we can start preparing you, sending you whatever we need to send you, giving you preparation documents for you to start going through before we start the class, because the class is actually starting next week. That is on the 27th. Okay, we are not here to joke. We hit the ground running, and there we go. And this time around, we want everybody to start with us. We want to take everybody along. By the time we are done with the 3 months, we want you to be able to confess that you've definitely seen a change in your practical skills, change in your knowledgeable skills. Okay, and so yes, this is what we're doing. There is another bit that we have introduced, and that is to give out referral bonuses. And this is what we're doing. On the 500, we're giving out anybody who refers a student to us, we're giving out 20% as a referral bonus to that individual. I believe that will come at £100, is it? Or 50? That's 120 on 500 is £100, which is a lot, to be honest. £100 can do a lot for you. So absolutely, that is what we're giving out. If your friend registers, makes the full payment and starts the class with us, you earn 20% on that referral that you made. And I believe this is a very good deal. Okay, so tell a friend to tell a friend, because you stand a chance of actually winning about £100 into your pocket. So the clock starts ticking again. The next cohort is on the 27th. We are starting the cybersecurity cohort and the data analytics, data science and analytics cohort. Yeah, that is it from me. While we wait, I'm sure Queen is going to take over, but while we wait, let us see your names out there. We're going to reach out to you right now, okay? And then we can take it from there as soon as possible. Thank you very much, Queen.
Thank you so much. While we still have your screen up, I would just like to encourage everyone who's been here since the very beginning, because this is something that, as Afrani said, we are not after just making profits as it were. We're after growth. We're after you becoming the better or the best version of yourself. So having been here for this long, this is what we're choosing to do, to give you 30% off on your payments. You're going to pay, even if you're paying just still 3 installments, the plan to make 3 installments, you would still pay the 30%. You still pay the 30% will still be taken off from the pay. So it's just about putting your name down with us and saying, oh, here's my commitment. I really don't want to miss out on this deal. I really don't want to miss out on what you're offering me today. I want to be a part of it. And you will be reached by one of my colleagues who will get in touch with you and let you know on the process and the procedures on getting you booked and ready for the new cohort starting in this September, starting next week, Saturday. It's exciting because everyone is really pumped. Everyone is really, really passionate and ready to just explore. And, because of the things we've shared and the things you've heard tonight, it's not only the the hard skills, the skills, getting the skills, that this tech skills, the soft skills there are also required, some of which James also shared when he was speaking. He talked about communication, being able to really communicate, knowing how to communicate with the people, whoever you're communicating with. So these are some of the things that would also be covered during the internship program as well. And we're also introducing the referral bonus a friend mentioned, which is you're going to earn 20% off every referral. Every single person who joins, who comes on board, with your name, your link, you would get a 20% off. So this is a special special program, especially for our students who have gone through our courses, who have graduated, Valentine, Timmy, and the rest of them. This is an opportunity also for you to earn while you're learning, so we're not just out here to make sure that you just learn. We also want you to earn as well. And this is why these things have been introduced to help you along your journey and along your line. So thank you so much, Afreni, for sharing your screen still.
Okay. The links have also been shared in the chat. So
yes, the links are all on the chart. The links are shared on the chart. Thank you all so much. Are there any questions for any of us today? Any questions as we begin to roll the curtain? Any questions, feedback, comments, and any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm directing to Mr. James.
Okay.
My question is, do you think with OpenAI's coming launch of the AI Drive job application or platform, would you think it would be crippling for LinkedIn, given that recruiters are now forced to use AI to implement it in their work part?
So
James,
I think that was,
yeah,
I caught most of it, but the signal was breaking up a little bit. The question was around, could you summarize?
With OpenAI's announcement of their new job website or platform, do you think it could be crippling for LinkedIn, given that recruiters are now forced to use AI than the traditional?
Yeah, so OpenAI, Sam Altman's organization is one of those that is incredibly disruptive in a good way. LinkedIn has held the monopoly in the market for close to 20 years, so it's about time that someone came along and shook things up a little bit. I think as consumers of product, this is only a good thing. If you can hear something in the background, that is fireworks. Apparently someone's having a party in the background. So apologies for any background noise. But yeah, LinkedIn has been dominating the market for about 20 years. There are lots of other jobs boards out there that people use, but LinkedIn has taken the monopoly. So I think it's great news that OpenAI are looking to challenge that market. The OpenAI approach is obviously commercial to a certain degree, but clearly they're also considering the fact that it's free to use technology as well. So there's a philanthropic component to it. So it's probably going to look and feel quite different. I would hope it's a better experience for the user. LinkedIn, when I first started using it in the late 90s, it was very clunky, and it was very much a jobs board and a way to connect with people in similar industry. It's now become social media. It's like Facebook. So there's a lot of people posting stuff on there that creates noise, and you have to be very careful about how you curate your feed so that you get relevant information that is important to you. So hopefully the OpenAI solution, whatever it's called, will make that easier, because it takes a lot of time to manage your feed. And it's almost, because I use LinkedIn daily. It's my go-to tool, so I'm on it all the time. And for me to get where I am now has taken a lot of years. So hopefully the OpenAI solution will be months, weeks, days before you can get a similar quality output. But then, of course, it's all about the people jumping over. So if you don't open an account, and an interesting comparison, actually, if we continue on social media, Instagram has a competitor called Threads, and I don't know how many people have moved over. They've gone to TikTok. Clearly, TikTok's the big one, but there is a thing called Threads, and Threads are trying to take people from Instagram. I'm not sure how successful it is, but Threads doesn't sound like a brand name that instantly jumps off the page, whereas Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, these are globally recognizable brands. So OpenAI are going to have to put a lot of effort into it. I'm curious. I am always one to embrace new technologies, new approaches, and I'd be curious to know about the user experience.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. I believe in the absence of none, I want to say a very big thank you again to you, James, to Franny, to Shay, and to the team working behind the scenes. Thank you all so much. It was really, really an exciting time to learn and to unlearn. It was an exciting time to also be challenged, because I was challenged really, to get out there to do the things we're supposed to do and to push and to be excellent at what we're doing, in terms of positioning ourselves as authority in the fields. So thank you all so much for joining. Do have a good evening. Remember, we're giving a 30% discount if you take action between now and the next 48 hours. And there's also a 20% referral bonus for everyone who gets to refer a friend, family, loved one to be part of One Goal Analytics, the cybersecurity or data analytics course starting on the 27th of September. Thank you all so much, and do have a good evening.
Yeah, and don't forget to join the Telegram group. It's free. There's a lot of information being shared over there on cybersecurity and data analytics. So just join it for free and keep you posted. Yeah. Thank you, Queen.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening. Good night.